you said, I paint my world. I've been calling myself an artist. I'm 68 years old. I've been calling myself an artist for about 63 years now. So I've been at this a long time, pursuing it, ups and downs all around. But because this is a later painting of mine, it's just I'm in an alley. I'm in an alley and I see shapes and colors, and this is about 60 by 70 inches, this painting. So it's a rather large painting. And what I do is I just, I get my color notes. I get my color notes down, and I basically mix and discover my color on the canvas. Try to get as the color I see and I feel. After I just bear witness to them, and then the paintings start talking to me, and I let the color take me in the direction it wants to go. And I work on a large easel with these, and I'm back and forth. The most important piece of equipment in my studio is my chair, because I get them going and I sit. What I do when I start a painting, I'll block in all the shapes and colors, basically like to a mid-tone, or just my closest color I can get to the color that I want to get to. And then I turn them away. I put them away. I let them ferment or whatever. I just let them sit, and I start another painting. Because then when I'll get another painting, nothing worse in my life than having like 4 or 5 white canvases to start. So then when I pull them out, instead of just plowing through it like I would have, painting it the very next day, I look at it for hours, and I see the serendipity of what I painted. And most times it's just a couple brush strokes, I'm finished, or I can take the color to the next level. I just try to tune the color, and have a balance in color. So these are the middle one's from 1981. There was about a life-size portrait of this lady in a smock. The other one's a yard sale on a property. The one on the right was I do in a drawing session back before the lockdown, figure drawings once a week, and the model took a break, so I got up on the stage on the model stand, and I did sketches and photographs and resource material of all the artists. So this is like what the model will see when a group of artists is painting the model. So and that's I guess 96 by 60 inch painting. What else we have? And then the other ones are, one on the left is making music, I call that. I go out, I reconnoiter. If I spend 2 hours painting, I want to spend 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours just looking. I learned to work without painting, work without working. If I'm walking, if I'm riding my motorcycle, if I'm doing anything, I'm always looking, I'm always sketching, I'm seeing shapes and colors, and then I come back and spend time in my studio, and I paint landscape. And the middle ones, I've been doing a series of other artists, going to their studios, getting sketches, and doing other artists. The couple in the middle are the ones that run the drawing session. George and Emily Thompson. I love color. I learned early on that when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I used to have a color collection. Like some kids collect rocks. I had a drawer full of color, just paper, every different color paper, and I would take the drawer out and I just look at my color collection. So I just thought that was interesting. The one on the left is of Wyoming. When I go travel, I have a Sprinter truck with a Murphy bed in the back, and a little pisser, because I'm old now. I had to get up early. And anyway, that's Wyoming. Lost in Wyoming. I do a series and done the Grand Canyon and all around Florida, Maine. The middle one is I'm just out reconnoitering, like I said, and I saw these a soccer practice, a bunch of kids. So I sketch and then I bring my resource material. I bring it all into my studio, and like the resource material falls to the wayside after the painting gets going, and the painting takes a life of its own. The other one on the right, I just enjoyed just the color development of that. Trying to really push my colors and have a balance in my color. And in my paintings too, I really admire like John Singer Sargent, Alice Neal, but if you stand up close to my work, you'll see just a brush stroke. It's an abstract mess. And then you step back, it becomes detailed. It becomes detailed. Less is more. I try to say as much as possible, least amount of work, least amount of brush stroke. I work with big brushes, and the others, that's from Lambertville, looking over to New Hope, right? The bridge to New Hope's on the left-hand side. I'm out. And the other's a little local cafe, duck soup, the dignity of people in everyday life. And then one on the right, I'm off of my motorcycle, and I just travel my motorcycle because I can pull over and sketch and photograph, because with a truck or a car, there's no place to park, and all these fantastic compositions go by. I'm out searching for compositions. And then I come back and I go through all my research, and I do sketches, thumbnails, and I come up with some of these paintings. I just start, without any type of resource material. I just start painting them. This is one out of my old studio, a little pine out of my old studio, and the one I did a trip down to Florida. The little one, it's like, I don't know, 34 by 36. And the one on the bottom of down in Florida. So I just try to show my world. The thing about my painting is, it's like I learned a long time ago. If you want your work to speak, if I want my work to speak for myself, I try not to interrupt. So when people come and look at my work, I'm not used to talking about my work, because I want you to bring your own experience. I had a gallery in Lambertville years ago for a while, and a lady was looking at a painting, and I started telling her what I was thinking and feeling when I was doing it, and upset her, and she didn't want to hear, because she was bringing her own feelings and own experience to it. So I learned to just not talk about my work, and let people look at it and interpret it. Like, you wouldn't want someone to talk to you while you're listening to Mozart or something, or or what they bring to it. So these are other ones just out reconnoitering around, and from this North Delaware and Bucks County. I call the series right now, I'm working on Lost in Bucks County. I do a Lost in Florida, Lost in Wyoming. I don't know what I'm looking for until I find it. So I figure that's a appropriate title for my series of paintings. My works, it's a quiet life I live. I live a life of a monk, just trying to get my work done. And I mean, I have a social life too, but it's just, I paint, drop my brushes down. I swim about, I don't know, 7 miles a week in the summer, only about 3 in the winter, because just availability. I go back and I look at what I've done, and I'm constantly working on drawings and pencil sketches and figures. And it's been a hard year, like for most people. I lost the lease on my home and studio of 16 years. So I've been living in storage for this past year, and it's been, I'm adjusting, and hopefully something will come up soon. But the studio's inside of me. I bring the studio with me, but it's still, it's still been, an interesting time. I'm trying to think of other things. My favorite hobby is loitering in art museums. I love loitering in art museums, because you look at work in books, it's one thing growing up looking at work in books, but when you stand in front of them, and I just yelp at some of the painters that I admire and love. I mean, no artist paints by themselves. We have artists that went ahead of us that just that lead the way or influence me, and so I go give homage to them, and I learn, and I see, and I yelp, and I scream, and whenever I travel for the museums. I go for the museums. These are one in the middle I call American Gothic and the Batman. There's a little Batman on the side there. Some people I'm talking to, they're on their back porch, and the one on the left is a bookstore I used to go to as a child. Pocket full of money for the candy there, and the other's a local movie theater. in the town that I grew up in. And, you know, it's a ticket booth. I mean, if you look at it close, you'll see the reflections of the street across. And, you know, a lot of stuff I don't set out. I don't set out with that. You know, I knew I wanted to do the ticket booth, but it wasn't until I get doing the painting, and the painting leads my way. It leads me. I bear witness to them, and next thing I know, my intention was putting the ticket person in there, but but it came out the reflections across the street, so it gave a whole other dimension I wasn't expecting. So it was pretty exciting, and so like I said, I work on about 3 or 4 at the same time. I remember once I finished all these paintings at once, and then I was faced with a bunch of white paintings, and the white canvases is just like there's all these different energies. All these different energies to have. I mean, white is just the open canvas. It's just like it takes your breath away. Then you get the security of a painting in the middle. This is a series I did of Grand Canyon. All 3 of them are what's 50 by 70. I'm proud of this. I have that Sprinter truck. I had no money at the time, but I wanted to do the Grand Canyon. So I drove out to the Grand Canyon, and I got my resource material sketches, and I came back and did them. But besides the diesel fuel, I brought all my own food with me. I sleep at the Walmart Hiltons when I travel, so you don't have to pay any money for that. I spent $20 out of my pocket for tea and occasional food. And besides the diesel fuel to go out in there back, and had the canvases all ready. So when I came back, they just came flooding out of me. They just came right out of me, these 3 paintings. And it was an exciting trip, you know. And so it was, it's pretty neat when you're out there. We have deer crossing signs around here. They had cougar crossing signs, you know, or cougars walking around. But, you know, I go out there a lot. I go to Florida and Maine and all over the place, and museums a lot. This is I realize now, I smile, this is a historical painting now. This is a Wawa. They don't have the coffee pots anymore. They got the big urns now.
I get it.
You know?
This is the one I mentioned last time, that I went into the Wawa and I got my coffee, and on the wall, a print of this painting was in there. I know it was yours. So sorry, Glenn. I just wanted to.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So this is this lady I happen to go to high school with, you know, and she's an actress, an excellent actress, stage actress, and this is what we do I'm a blue collar artist. This is what we do to keep painting, and she keeps to doing acting. So I went to a Wawa before that, and I got kicked out. I had my sketchbook and stuff. I got flagged from a Wawa. I wasn't allowed to do it. I went to another one. I got kicked out. So I go up to, I gave up, and I go there, and she posed for me. She was not a problem, you know. So it was great. She's called the Queen of the Bean. You know, she makes the coffee, but getting flagged from a Wawa, that was a first, you know. So, but no, that happens a lot though. I go places with my sketchbook and camera, and people come out like, put their hands up. No. So I'm trying to learn ways. I have one on the subway. I don't think I have it up here. Oh yeah, there it is. That one, I'm on the subway going down to Philadelphia, and I'm sketching on the subway. That's the platform, and the other train on the other side. It's right before it goes into the ground, becomes a subway. And the panel on the left is in museums. I'm in a museum, and I'm sketching in a museum, and that's a lady just looking at a painting there. I guess that's about 32 by 32 inches. So I just I go out and do the things I do, and I come back at them, come back and look at them, and I love putting them away. Is a real important part of my process. You know, start it, get it blocked in, and put it away. Sketch. Don't beat it to death. I've had a lot of bonfires. You know, when I get the stretchers off, and the paintings that I don't want them to see the light of day, but I had to paint every painting. I was told when I was a kid, before you call yourself an artist, you got to cover at least a square mile of canvas, and that's what I do. I used that Latin analogy the last time I talked, I think, about Yo-Yo Ma. I don't know if I did. I apologize if I did, but my analogy is every time Yo-Yo Ma played the cello,